Hey friends, welcome to External Validation, the podcast, where two polar opposites try to make sense of adulthood, friendships, and that weird text you're still overthinking from 3 days ago.
We're unlikely friends from very different worlds who somehow ended up talking about life's chaos all the time. So we figured, why not hit record and invite you in?
In this first episode, we're introducing ourselves, how this friendship came to be, and why we think these conversations about marriage, careers, burnout, situationships, and just showing up are the ones worth having.
So whether you're spiraling on a Tuesday morning or thriving on a Thursday afternoon, grab your coffee or your wine and let's get into it.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Amelia.
How's it going?
It's going well. I will tell you, this is very odd, very cool, but I'm excited that we're finally doing this.
I mean, this is totally out of our comfort zone, but I'm excited for this new journey with you.
Me too. I feel like we said for so long, it's a long time coming, and we've been honestly wrestling over this idea for months now, and we put out content. We're trying our best to be more in the public eye, but this is our first time really doing something long form, and we're excited to kind of show everyone our personalities and kind of who we are as much as we can, I guess.
So guys, please be kind. We are slowly getting into the thick of it. So we're gonna figure it out eventually. Be kind to us, please.
But yeah, and you know what's funny? We've listened to podcasts in the past, and we've always found that, you know what? There's things that resonate with us and things that don't. So hopefully when you come to this podcast, it's a bit of a combination of everything. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit of humor. It's a bit of satire and sarcasm. It's also a breath from kind of maybe the things you're thinking about.
And we hope that anytime you guys listen to us, that we have at least one listener that may resonate and that may come out a little bit better at the end of the podcast. So guys, we are here for our first episode. And we thought today was going to be a little bit of get to know us, a little bit of Q&A, and kind of get into the swing of what this podcast is going to be every single week. So as a little bit of a background, my name's Emilia. I'm 33. I live in New Jersey, work in New York, married to the love of my life, and just the quintessential Pisces, I guess you can say.
I love that.
I don't know why I said quintessential.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris. I'm 33. I also live in New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey. I've worked in New York my entire life as well. I oversee a finance and operations and project management department for a public relations company. If I'm not working, you'll find me on the track or running probably in your neighborhood. I'm an avid runner. I run marathons and half marathons, and I'm absolutely addicted to it. If I'm not doing that, I'm playing with my 2 dachshunds. I'm happily married. I have a wonderful family. I have great friends. And I feel like I'm your average guy just always looking for more and trying to overcome, just a crippling sense of perfectionism.
You are really trying to smooth over the audience, aren't you?
Yeah, if you're really looking for someone who's trying to find something else and different in life all the time, you found the right person, and that would be me.
Did. Absolutely.
It is me. Hi, and welcome.
Wow. And if you guys are a typical spiritual woo-woo type, I'm your girl. I am here. I am ready to shove positivity down your throat. That's what we're doing. We're shoving it down your throat because life is already too complicated and it just takes too much energy to be negative. So I am here to be your lucky lady.
So the thing with both of us that you'll find is that we are very much the same. And once you get to know us, you'll find that our values are very similar. What you'll find that we are opposite in is sometimes how we see the world or mainly how we go about it.
100%. I make the joke that a Gemini Pisces walked into a podcast and you got me and Chris. And what I mean by that is that we really are the unlikely friends. I am a executive assistant in a consulting firm, been laid off twice, have plenty of generational trauma to go around. And I found a safe space in Chris that I was able to really ping pong off my ideas and get a completely opposite viewpoint that I wouldn't have with my normal friends or my husband or my family. And we thought that right there is reasons enough to buy some microphones and headphones off Amazon and make a podcast. And we think that a lot of people are going to benefit from this because we are the unlikely friendship. We are polar opposites. And we hope that maybe something we say can help you in your everyday life. And I think that as we go forward with this podcast and you guys learn more about us, Maybe you'll have your favorites. Maybe you'll call me a pick-me. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. So we're just here for the ride, guys.
Well, similar to Amelia, though, where Amelia might say that she's your quintessential Pisces, I'm your quintessential Gemini that is hyper-structured, hyper-perfectionist. Everything needs to be in order. In fact, we are filming this podcast on my kitchen countertop, and if you were to look in my refrigerator, all the labels must face forward. The beverage must go in the middle shelf, and I prefer that every can of soda, i.e. seltzer, is also color coordinated as well.
And while I am the same way, where we differentiate is that I actually have carbs in my fridge.
There are carbs technically in my fridge, just not ones that I would ever consume.
Non-complex carbs, like a potato.
Are we starting the debate now over the potato?
This is going to be the fight, guys. Respectfully, I feel that people that don't eat potatoes are serial killers.
That's a very serious accusation to make publicly.
What's the reason to not have a potato, Chris?
I actually, if I'm being honest, I stopped eating carbs about 13 years ago, trying to kind of make a bet with someone who is like near and dear to me to see if I could do something and if they could do something too. And I kept with my end of the bargain. And as a result, I think
20 years later, everybody.
And as a result, out of pride and out of, I think, discipline, I just don't eat the carbs. However, I will tell you, every once in a while, I do consider eating, like, I wonder what a bagel would taste like right now, or a piece of pizza. But I never really act on it.
But this is the location to get bagels. So
no,
if you're going to do it, I need to be with
today,
you.
Today, now. Yeah. And especially with like the food in New Jersey and New York, you can't beat what we have over here.
And I know everyone will always fight who has better pizza, bagels, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. And I will always stand 10 toes down. New Jersey is the place to go for bagels and pizza. I
will say we have the food game in New Jersey is exceptionally strong, especially in North Jersey between Passaic, Bergen County, Essex County, Morris County. You got everything here. It's
1,000%.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So guys, we are going to do a little bit of a interview with Chris and then vice versa for you guys to get to know us a little bit better.
Of course.
And then we're going to kind of get into the thick of it about what today is about.
Let's do it.
So, all right, Chris, how would you describe me to a complete stranger, and how would you describe us as a pair?
Oh gosh, so to describe you as a stranger would be someone who has an infectious smile.
Oh.
Here we are. Someone who is very kind-hearted, wants the best for people, looks out for the best in people, is exceptionally loving and kind and generous. And then I think as a pair, I would say we're like oil and vinegar, but you need oil and vinegar to make the salad really good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a good concoction of a good salad dressing. And I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but meaning like, I think as a pair, we're good complements and offsets to each other. As a good example of that would be like, I might be more of the vinegar side of, say, a dressing, because I am a bit more of the structured, more rigid one, where you might be more oil, where you kind of maybe form and say, it's all right. Whereas I can't find that type of it's okay in things. No, I would say that I'm just more, I'm more structured in life. That's all.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is one thing people would be shocked to know we have in common, and one thing that proves that we are total opposites?
I would actually say one thing that we have completely in common is that we are both hyper goal oriented.
Oh, disgustingly so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to a fault where everything could become a goal for us.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, it could be, I'm going to, color between the lines, and it'll be like, well, how many shades can we get within the same line?
What's the depth ratio we're doing on shading versus light? Correct.
Are we doing it horizontal shading? Yes. Are we doing a vertical shading? What type of shading do you want? Hard or soft shading? We will overcomplicate something like that. Where we're more polar opposites, I think, is just in how we make our decisions. I'm much more structured, very methodical, decisive, whereas I'm not as impulsive, maybe. So I think it's more in the impulsivity side of things.
I mean, I just have to go on ChatGPT and see how my horoscope is for that day.
That will.
And I'm like, if the vibes work, we'll go with it.
So actually, fun fact for everyone out there, I had asked Amelia a few days ago, just doing quick like snippets of like get to know you. And the question was, what is one thing that you can justify, or what spending habit can you easily justify? The question, remember, was one. She initially says, Starbucks. Actually, no. Anything home improvement, anything home decor, Starbucks, Macy's, Bloomingdale's clearance, Nordstrom rack, Nordstrom clearance.
Everything Amazon.
Anything Amazon. So, whereas I'm much more like, well, how much budget do I have? What can I spend on? Do I need this? Where would I put it in the house? Do I want this in the house? Is it cluttered?
Unfortunately, budget and Amelia don't go together in the same sentence.
Yes. So that's where we are opposites.
I agree. And I also think too, where we have in common is we are so loyal. Yeah. Really to a fault for both of us that we will go to the depths of the earth for someone. Yeah. And I think that's what makes us such good friends, because we show up in each other's love language. For us, really, like, time and energy and acts of service, like, that's very important for us. And I have to say that's where we have a lot of things in common, where we are total opposite. And this is going to be a topic for another day.
Tell me.
Miss Taylor Swift. I already got reamed on TikTok.
You
okay?
Did.
Guys, listen, we are dabbling in the content creation world. And
it's a very vicious world out there.
I was eaten alive by the Swifties. Mm-hmm. And it's also very hilarious that people are trying to explain supply and demand to me as a finance major when they're not coming to the very common knowledge that supply and demand for Taylor Swift would not be as bad if you all were in a freaking cult. I said what I said.
Wow, that is a lot to process for episode 1.
It is, and I know I'm going to get reamed again, but okay, listen.
But
the people that are, I will always respect her for who she is, but the people that aren't as obsessed with her, you're my people. So hey guys, welcome to the pod.
Whereas me, on the other hand, I will say that Taylor Swift is wonderful, majestic. She's iconic. She's everything. It's not just because of Taylor Swift. This is not a bandwagon approach in any shape or form. Okay. I've been a Taylor Swift fan for a very long time. I believe her albums are excellent. I do believe her writing is incredible. Her production is incredible. And I just believe that she relates to a lot of different people and she can connect a lot of different people through her music. And I think that's really the essence of what music is.
I have to say, once we get this podcast up and running, we need to hire a psychiatrist to talk about parasocial relationships with these people. I feel like it's a very important lesson for people to learn.
I do think that might be a bit of money. But what we'll do
whoever is a therapist, psychoanalyst, psychiatrist, anyone with the brain, we can't pay you much, but we have good bottles of wine that we can offer and a good conversation.
Just to be clear, we're also using like $36 Amazon microphones at the moment.
That's okay. So you know what's actually funny? I was really thinking, when did you realize, because I've been racking my brain about this today.
Tell me.
When did you realize we were actually going to be like super close? I mean, to give some background, Chris and I met via a mutual friend. Yep. Our friendship really strengthened, I would say, probably the past 3 to 4 years. Yeah. Especially in the last year, we really became very, very close. But when was your aha moment that we were gonna be buddy buddies?
It's hard to say a moment. Actually, you know what? It's funny. I think it was through observation of other events.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, because it's not necessarily how you treat me, because you don't know how someone's going to treat you because they might have a motive towards how they're going to treat you. But it's what you're going to, perceive or observe with other people is ultimately how you think they're going to treat you, whether, they know you're watching or not.
100%.
So a good example is it'll be how you show up for other people on their birthdays. It could have been just listening to you talk about how you not only did things for them, but they needed you and how you showed up. It was more just the fact that you come from a place of honesty. Sometimes I think the honesty might come off wrong.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
But I don't think it's misplaced. Like, I'm able to read through that and say, I get the message. It's not an aha moment as it was just little moments that collect.
Interesting.
Yeah. What about you?
I had the aha moment.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So I was going through a very difficult time back in 2024, beginning of 2024. My life was a series of unfortunate events leading up to this moment, and I was in a really dark place. And I just remember saying those words to Chris that I'm not good. And you just immediately, you showed up, you took me out, and we just sat and we talked. And I think for me, like, having someone show up in the minuscule moments meant a lot to me. And I think it was that. And then there was another situation that something was going on with you. and you said, something's happening in the next 48 hours, like I need you. And I remember I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even question it.
Yeah.
I'm like, when I didn't question saying, oh, I'm showing up for him, I knew like, okay,
Yeah.
we're friends now. We're good friends now.
I will tell you, one of the biggest life lessons that I actually think we also have in common is you just do not kick people when they're down. No, but I do believe we have
Sometimes they deserve it, but most of the time they don't.
No, it's okay. So I thought we had that in common. Maybe we don't. But I will say, though, that one thing to be down because you cause your own demise. But, someone's going through a family issue. You're going through a job issue. You're feeling really vulnerable. You're not yourself. You're not showing up normally like yourself. I'm just not going to lay on more pressure than need be because I just
100%.
I don't need to do that.
Yeah. And you guys are also going to notice that Chris is a lot better at words than I am. So if I don't say something properly, Chris will hopefully fix it for me. So all in all, I think that right there is the reason in our hearts and our souls of why we think this podcast matters right now. I think everything that is happening in today's day and age, no matter what lens that you look at it through, real friendships, core friendships, loyal friendships are so hard to come by. And we want to be able to offer a safe space for maybe someone that feels like their friend maybe might have given up on them, or they can't trust their friend, or maybe their friend left them high and dry. And we want to offer a place for you to come that you can laugh with us, cry with us, learn with us, maybe view something differently than you normally would, and have the much bigger conversations that sometimes people don't have with their friends. Not even about the quintessential, talk to me about your work day, how's your marriage going, how are your friendships, but maybe the deeper conversations of faith and identity crisis and imposter syndrome and maybe the shame that comes with, a bad habit that you might have. And I think because we are two different people going through similar circumstances, we can offer that conversation completely judgment-free, and give you guys, maybe make it feels like it's a nice warm hug when you're listening to us or talking to us or joining along in the conversations. We would love to hear from you guys about what you think, about what you would like to hear. And we're just really excited to welcome you into our friendship, into our lives. And honestly, we're just ready to hit the ground running.
As they say, we're ready to rock and roll.
We're ready to rock and roll.
You know what? One other thing to say with that, why us and why now, is starting in January, we both have embarked on this whole idea of like, you know what? I want to live authentically me.
100%.
And there is this whole, 8 months of what do I want and need? What would I live and die by? What are the values that are indestructible and will not change for anyone, anything? And so as a result, I think why now of you're meeting us at a time of transformation. You're meeting us at a time where we have a good experience. We have great corporate wisdom. We have great intuition. We have really very well structured, very sound friendships with multiple people from lifetimes at this point. But it seems like we have good friendships with our family members. We have friendships with neighbors. We're loved by a lot of people. But I always do feel like there's something missing inside. And I don't know, I feel like it wasn't not necessarily authenticity, but what was missing is kind of a sense of what is really mine in my life.
100%. And I also think too, maybe not authenticity, but I have to say like genuineness. Because I feel like so many people are trying to show up in the way that they think that they want you to show up instead of just being themselves. And I mean, even myself over the past 2-3 years, I've had such an identity crisis. I mean, I've gone through 2 layoffs. We lost grandparents. We lost pets. We sold a place, bought a place. I am in a job now that I'm so grateful for and I'm really excited for the opportunity. But title-wise, I'm sitting here like, oh my God, that's not what my title should be. 10 plus years of corporate experience. How is this my title now? And I have a feeling that much more people are having these thoughts than we would like to realize, or even that they would like to admit to themselves. So I feel like having a genuine, open, honest, no holds barred,
and that's
just
a
showing
fair
up as
question
you are. Yeah.
Of like, what is right for your age? I've always gotten the answer of like, it's fine. Enough is what you are. Enough is what you're, approaching, and what is what you want. And you're like, yeah, but I know I want more.
Yeah.
Why do I not feel like I'm in the right place at the right time? And what opportunities am I not grasping as a result of staying? And sometimes I don't know the answer to that. And I can tell you, like, risks have been my best friend, but I can't tell you what risks should be taken.
And I think that is a really great segue into our first segment, Respectfully.
Tell me.
So we are going to have a segment every single episode where
This is probably my favorite one.
I know, I'm very excited for this one. So pretty much we're going to have hot takes, spicy topics, and it's going to be based on the episode's theme. So this theme is going to be friendships, and this is my respectfully comment. Respectfully, I feel that when people are having a hard time with their identity crisis, they need to be by themselves, do some inner work, heal, and then they're able to go out into the world. While I know that you feel like you should just go out into the world and make mistakes and figure it out along the way.
Yeah, definitely.
And the reason that I say maybe take a beat is because when people don't genuinely know who they are, I think if they just say, let's just keep going out, let's go on dates, let's go meet friends, let's go out, you're not addressing the true issue deep down, which is you don't know what you want for yourself.
But don't you feel like respectfully you get that through experience?
I disagree, respectfully.
Why?
I just feel like people refuse to be alone, and people refuse to do the hard work of what is it that I believe, what is it that I want, what is it that I expect out of life. Because if they're just going out and they are surrounding themselves maybe with people that aren't good to be around them, I fully believe that you should surround yourself with the people that you want to be with. So if I say I go through a breakup and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to get out there. I'm not dealing or mourning with the person that I knew myself to be in that relationship. I'm not dealing with, okay, well, I now have to quote unquote reinvent myself. How do I want to show up in the world? I feel like if you're just going out and you're meeting whoever says hello to you, you don't know what their intentions are. You don't know what they stand for. I am very big on surround yourself with like-minded people. Surround yourself with people that you respect, that you aspire to be, whether it is their job, whether it is how they carry themselves in life, whether it is how they show up in their family or in their marriage. And I really feel like people are too afraid to just be alone and kind of sit in the hurt, sit in the pain, and grow out of it. Kind of like Icarus, when Icarus goes too close to the sun and he burns up and then he's reborn again, or the Phoenix is reborn again. Am I saying the right story?
I know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right? He flew too close to the sun and he burned up and got crispy, but then he was reborn from the ashes. Okay. You got to be reborn from the ashes, but like I feel like there's a lot of self-worth that comes with that, and that self-work is not going out and just filling your time with people that you don't know.
But I think you're taking my version of experience as a be reckless.
No, not at all.
So what I mean by it is, let's use the example of you break up with someone. In my mind, if your goal was to go out and find someone, you're not going to find them sitting home.
100%.
And then also dwelling on, what did I do wrong in this relationship? Because you also just could have been with the wrong person, but you have all the right skills. You have all the right temperaments. You have all the right personality traits, and you are a fun, loving, great person that deserves the best. So in my opinion, I look at this, well, so I should sit home and figure out what I did wrong or what I should change or what I want, when maybe you already know. Maybe it's just the fact that you're just with the wrong person. And in my opinion, I feel like, at least in my own life, I have learned much more from going out, trying and failing than I have with sitting home and questioning what has or has not worked. I would rather have the failure and say, I tried it. It didn't work. Or, you know what? I dated this person. I thought it would work. They had great qualities, but it didn't work out. Or I really, really liked them. They didn't like me. And I'm really upset because it felt like there was a love connection, but it wasn't. And maybe I'm able to take things and put things into a vacuum and look at it more third party. Maybe that is the reason why I have that kind of viewpoint of life. But I just feel like sitting home, and I'm making it as if it's a bad thing to sit home. It's not a bad thing to sit home because it is part of an experience. But I just feel like if you want experience and you want exposure and you want to try and change things differently or maybe faster, I feel like if speed is your friend, then going out, trying and being comfortable to fail is a faster exposure to things.
See, I disagree, because I feel like a lot of times people don't go out with the appropriate intentions. And if my intention is I want to rebuild myself, I want to make new friendships, I want to, I don't know, maybe go into a new community that I'm not used to. Some people don't think that before they do. I feel like when it comes to maybe discernment, awareness, but truly intentionality, like they don't kind of place that, let's just call it a goal. They don't place that goal out ahead of time before they start going out. I feel like they're just like, okay, well, I'm lonely at home. I don't want to sit in my feelings. I'm just going to run out and figure it out. Which it does, I'll never take away that does work for some people. But I feel like the way that I would approach life, like I would want to make sure that I am sound, secure in myself. Mm-hmm. And that I know whatever energy I am putting out is the energy that I'm going to receive back. Because I feel like if you go out without an intention, you're just going to start receiving some crazy energy that might not be truly what you want, but because you're open to anything, you're going to get anything.
But so here's a good question for you, like as a follow-up to, because I know a lot of this is mainly what we're trying to focus on, friendships related to this question. Because again, you would say like, well, if you want to change your job, you're not going to sit home and not do, like, you have to act and get the experience, of course. So I think we would agree that my approach makes a logical sense in that sense. But
sure.
But I'm saying in terms of friendships, I also feel like specifically here, if there was a friend that was bothering you, say, and this friend's really upsetting you, you really want them to change, or you want them to see your side, do you feel like it's better to sit back, regroup, take a beat, then say something? Or if they were a close enough friend, can't you just tell them, hey, I'm a little upset?
Yes, you should. If you have a true friendship that they know your intention, you should be able to speak about it 100%. But I feel like people's perspectives on the situation change a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And for me, I think taking a beat to make sure that you are appropriately addressing the problem in the correct way and not in the way that you potentially would to yourself is very important. So, for example.
But don't you feel like that's like overcomplicating it?
No.
So if I were to say to you, called you 5 times and I feel like I'm the only person that calls, if that's just the straight message with it, is that not better just to hear the straight message?
100%. Like, but I'm saying your message initiation is via your perspective, correct? So
of course, yeah.
So I am going to take that message. If I don't kind of sit with it, I'm taking it as an attack. I'm taking it as that you are saying to me, well, you have no communication skills. I'm doing everything. You're not doing anything. How dare you?
But why would you perceive that as so this goes to my point of if it was a close friend, I feel like I would be able to be like, you, like if I'm the one texting you all the time and this is it, why would you take that as an attack? Like, I guess the point is like, you almost like need to like Google, not you specifically, I'm saying like, I almost wonder like, what is then the definition of a friendship? Because to me, a friend is someone you can count on, and there's this like symbiotic relationship that you have with each other. So if the intent is that I'm the one always initiating, yes, there are obviously unilateral one-way relationships, absolutely. But if that is not what you're expecting, I should be able to be like, hey, I wasn't expecting this. Whether you take that as an attack, that's not for me. If I, of course, say you do nothing is one thing. But if I'm saying, I've noticed that I'm the one sending all 100% of the message initiations, or I'm the one who calls or FaceTimes, I would want that to be reciprocated. Why would that even be perceived as an attack?
I think it depends on the person who's accepting that message. Because everyone takes things differently, right? Like you can say that to me and I know 100%, oh, Chris is coming from kind of a fact-based evidence that this is how he feels, and maybe there is some truth to it. But I feel like in a lot of friendships, people don't really want to acknowledge that fact-based evidence. So, for example, if you were to say to me, "Hey, I've noticed recently that you've been talking like you've been having frustrations with a certain kind of friend. Why don't you approach this friend and talk to that person and say, hey, what's going on?" Right? And say I'm not in the space to hear that. And I'm like, yeah, we talked about it. We're good. One, they just lied to you saying, oh, yeah, we talked about it. We're good, when they had no intention of ever bringing it up to that person because they are fine with it being not fine. Right?
Sure.
And I think for me, it does depend on the quality of your friendship. Like, is there something underlying that is affecting you, right? Because right now, you and I are great. So if you were to come up to me and say, hey, I've been initiating a lot, I'd be like, crap, you're totally right. Sorry. Work got ahead of me. I didn't even realize. I'm so sorry. I'll be better. But some people, if you were to bring that, they would just immediately dismiss it, I feel. And they wouldn't acknowledge the facts of the matter, I guess you could say. And I think that's where I'm coming from in saying, if you approach something to say, hey, I've been noticing this, like, I'm ready to talk about it whenever you are. Like, you let me know when you have the space to discuss this. I think it is approaching it differently because you're giving them the availability to say, hey, I'm not ready to talk about it right now. Let me think about it, and then we should have a more serious conversation. And every friendship is different. Like, I have such close friends that I can say that to them, and they're like, oh, crap, you are totally right. And then there are other friendships that I do have to tiptoe around because I could say one thing that can blow them off the end. And whether that is whatever they're going through personally in work, family, relationships, whatever it may be. But sometimes people aren't ready to hear that directness too. Some people are fine being, what do they call it? Like fair weather friends.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people. I have a small group of friends and I'm like, you guys are my people and that's it. Yeah. But some people also don't have the capacity to be that kind of friend either. And I think that's a huge, that's another huge like caveat to this, to like the friendship conversation. Yeah.
I just feel like today, I think as you grow up, you realize you lose more friends than you gain them, or you lose them faster.
Yes.
The loss of friends accelerates further or faster than you gain them. And, but you're talking about, like, to me, a friend is the person you could call at any point in time, be like, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah. And that's like a true lifelong friend.
Yeah.
I think too
and maybe there is something then to the sorry, not to cut you off, but maybe there is something to the fair weather friend. Like, because that is something that you and I have in common. But hear me out of like, maybe if the intent is to have people around you, and more volume of friends, maybe there is something to that, a type of attention.
Okay.
Like, I'm not saying it wouldn't necessarily work for me per se, because I also don't know if I could like handle that many relationships, because you want to give as much as you can to me in relationships, because you also would assume, like, for every one relationship you have, there's something that you're getting in return with it. And whether that friend is giving you really great advice, or they have really good friends group too, and you feel really good with, when you're with them, or vice versa. But if you're not getting that from the friend and it is very kind of unilateral, like, it's just an energy kill,
And that's exactly what it is for me. Like, you'll never catch me with fair weather friends at all. And the reason is, like, I'm not wasting my energy on it. Like, I will never understand these bridal parties that are like 15 people.
Oh my gosh.
There is no way you have 15 close friends that you want standing next to you on your wedding day.
No, and like, honestly, if you are that person, I would love to hear from you kind of how you manage those relationships.
Please, like, give me a lesson, because I don't get it.
Yeah. I probably have, like, in all honesty, 15 very close people in my life. But I have
like less than 10, Chris.
Well, I'm saying, like, when you add in family, like,
I'm talking just strictly friendships.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying 15 all in. Like, I don't know if I can handle like 15 close friends.
And like, as girls, like, that's a lot of estrogen. That's a lot of drama.
That's honestly, though,
nightmare-ridden guys.
It would be fine. It would take a lot of patience at that point.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, think about it. We go through 4 different phases a month, Chris. 4 times 12 is 48 different phases a year.
That is a lot of phases.
You can't deal with me when I'm in my luteal phase.
No, it's an interesting topic, because especially as you're our age and you're in your early to mid 30s, I do find myself trying more than ever before.
Oh, yeah.
And I do feel that I want the best for people. I do feel that I want really close friends, or I want at least my friendships that I have that I want to be close. I want them closer or stronger.
Yep.
But what makes that more complicated is when you're like, oh, like, I have maybe like, 3 really close friends, and you say, God, like, if one leaves, I'm down.
Oh,
like,
I actually just had that conversation with my best friend. I'm like, you can never leave me. You cannot do that to me. And she was like staring at me. I'm like, I am not kidding you.
It would be horrid.
I would go through a straight depression. And that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe that is my downfall. That like I only have like I can count on one hand how many close friends I have, and one goes down, and I am like, down for the count.
Is there anyone else out there that's like, I have like 60% of my friend group is fair weather and 40% is close friends? Or like, is there some golden ratio that we should know?
Because I would love to. Because I would like love to know. Yeah, mine is
like 99% close friends from childhood, knows my family. You know, like, I mean, I don't have. I guess I do have some fair weather, but I mean, not enough to substantiate like this perfect golden ratio, I would say.
Yeah, it's like, what's the Da Vinci Code of friendships, I guess?
Yeah,
you know, like what is like you have, is it like 3 good friends to 1 fair weather?
Well,
because this is the thing though with fair weather, I just don't have the time. And that sounds maybe a little messed up, but it's just like I don't have the time or the energy to do this fair weather thing and keep everything surface. Like, I'm not a surface kind of lady.
Yeah.
I want to get into it.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe there is a part to that.
Potentially. Guys, what do you think? What's the golden ratio of friendships?
I do think it's like a 70-30, 60-40 rule. 70% close, and then 30% like fair weather. But
I'm like an 80-90 to 10-20.
but that's what's a Pareto's rule is like 80% of something falls into 20% of something else.
I don't know what you're talking about, Chris.
But it's this whole idea of like, let's say this, like 80% of your funds come from 20% of the things that you do.
Okay.
Or something. So it's like, it's that type of ratio. So it might be like 80% of your friendships come from 20% of the people in your life.
All right. I could.
Or like, it's like saying 80% of your love comes from 20% of the people in your life. Like something to that effect.
So it's like the 80-20 rule. 80% is diet, 20% is working out kind of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. Basic. Yeah. Except apply that to friendships. Yeah.
Tell us what you guys think.
Yeah. I don't know. But look, like it's conversations like this is I think what you can kind of expect to kind of hear from us. Our conversation is just about friends. What should friendships be? What is the golden ratio of friendships and fair weather friends and close friends? But I will say like one thing that you probably won't hear from us is really on kind of the side where it's really choosing to take a stand on certain things, because that's really not what the intent is. This is to be. This is meant to just be the unalike millennials going through things in life that are a bit more ordinary life. We're not here to take a stand on anything. We're not trying to make any political statement in any way, shape, or form. We're mainly here just to talk about what's going on in our lives and maybe see if you can relate to them.
And we want to allow you guys the space to open up these conversations in your own life. Have a glass of wine with your friend, give them a call and talk about it. Say, hey, you know, I heard this on a podcast. What's your viewpoint on it? Because I feel like everyone is so structured in their day-to-day where if you don't agree with me, we are not going to be friends. And that is not what this podcast is for. I want to hear from every single person on any spectrum. And I just want to hear your thoughts. And I think this is what, honestly, especially maybe our generation, because we're kind of stuck in between the boomers and the Gen Zs, and they are very opinionated on both ends, that we just want to hear both ends. We don't ever want to stifle someone's voice or stifle someone's opinion. Like, tell me why you feel the way that you feel. We'll tell you why we feel the way that we feel. If we end up agreeing at the end, amazing. If we don't, amazing. Doesn't mean I'm going to say, hey, Chris, you messed up. Nice being friends with you. That's not what this is about.
But, and the truth of the matter is that we have friends of all different walks of life.
100%.
And the truth is we can all still be friends, and that's what we want in life. The funny thing is that I am not only the rule follower, but I always wish there was a rule book. I'm glad that we're using this as a creative expression, but I think as millennials, one thing that we've always looked for is like a guidebook on how to do it.
Oh my gosh, always.
Right? Like if life would be that simple, if we growing up with social media and your best friend putting on their away message something about you and not being able to explain to your parents exactly why that's so impactful in your life, right? Or the fact that like someone's on their BBM status and it's not you, or they're putting their pin and they are with someone else and they're out to eat but you didn't know, and it's like all of these things, I feel like as millennials, you grew up in this digital age and now you're trying to get out of the digital age. And I feel like we're all, to some degree, just trying to figure it out.
I mean, it took me 15 minutes to explain to Chris what a pick me was. So
Yeah,
if that doesn't just explain what we are, guys.
That was a life-changing revelation. Jeez.
Welcome to my life.
So, yeah. But I hope what maybe this podcast can be, or at least we hope this podcast can be, is kind of a millennial guidebook, even if it's a different viewpoint on a problem that you're facing, or if it's a just like a new solution or a different idea. Not everything will just be conversational. Sometimes we will be giving each other advice, as we always do.
Yep.
The intent of this is, I will tell you right now, none of this is scripted right now. We're just riffing off the top of our head. Mm-hmm. You're going to see that that's kind of, we want this to be as if you're just at our dinner table eating with us and talking to us about life.
Because that is when we are at our purest form, I think.
Literally, yes.
Yeah, always. So, guys, thanks for coming to our first podcast. Next week, I'm really excited because we are going to be having a very important conversation about corporate America. Corporate. And I think this is a really good topic because we are truly on opposite ends of the totem pole. I am in an administrative level and Chris is in a leadership level. And I feel like we're going to be opening up the doors to conversations that aren't had in companies.
We both have these grand ambitions, and I think any millennial at any level, at any stage, at any experience level is always looking for just, how do I get to the next level? Or how could I, just coast for a little bit? Is it okay for me to coast? I want to get I want to get a promotion. I want a raise.
Can I do that while I quiet quit?
Right. What do I do? And I think.
Did you hear there's a new thing called Hush Hybrid?
No, I did hear one that's not quiet quitting, but it's quiet trapping or quiet something, where it's like you didn't quit, but you're not like feeling you're doing your best.
Too many trigger words. I swear, it's Gen Z doing this to us. I can't follow.
But at the end of the day, I mean, if you're not doing something you love and you're excited to do every day, I mean, you get to a place in your life where you say, I'm in my 30s. What am I working towards or for?
Exactly. And I think it's going to be a great conversation because you have Chris with the logics and Em with the woo-woo. And I'm just going to tell you, it's all about your perspective and the words that you use. So guys, we're going to end every episode with something called the wraparound. And we're going to be wrapping around about our week, what we thought was good, bad, and just kind of see what it is. Yeah. So Chris, what is one thing that was actually fine this week for you?
Honestly, I think I had a really, really, really great run. I went to the doctor. I got cleared.
Yes, cleared, good to
on
go.
On all levels. Everything
Perfect
was wonderful. So a couple of things were great. But I think the wraparound is really just the fact that I prioritize my health for the first time in a really long time. Granted, yes, I might be a runner. I don't prioritize going to the doctor all the time and getting every physical that I possibly can, but I did that. So I think truly my wraparound is I focused on my health and it paid off.
Amazing.
Yeah. What about you?
So I would say mine was that I am starting to make a plan.
Ooh, I love a good plan.
And it's been a while since I've done this, but I started reading Atomic Habits again.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Tomorrow is the first day of the working day of the month.
Yep.
And I am excited to hopefully get up before 7 a.m., get to the gym.
Good for you.
Do some journaling in the morning.
Good for you.
Maybe get some vitamin D in before I have to sit down and get that vitamin screen in, if you know what I mean. So I'm really excited to start implementing positive changes into my work week.
Yeah, and I think that is a wonderful thing. Yeah. And having a good plan will always lead to a good success.
I'm so excited. So guys, thanks for kicking this off with us. We cannot wait to spiral with you, unpack with you, laugh, and most definitely cry with you.
We will 100% cry with you at some point.
Especially Amelia.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, everyone. And don't forget to follow, rate, and send this to a friend who always texts, quote, I'm spiraling at 10:42 p.m. Because things are fine. Thanks for the validation this week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.